Welcome to the Prep Zone. My name is Grant Yenny, and tonight we're here at Jack Salter Stadium for a big Week 10 matchup between Covington and Mandeville. This matchup tonight has huge playoff implications as Covington comes in as the 30 seed, Mandeville at 17. So Mandeville is playing to have a first-round home game. Covington is playing to stay in the playoff picture. Now let's bring in Coach Jimmy Inman for more analysis. Coach, let's start with the Mandeville Skippers. What do we know about them coming into this one?
Well, the first thing you need to know is Mr. Will Shepard, over 1,000 yards receiving, leads the Metro in receptions and receiving yards. Look, this guy, his specialty, if you throw it up, he's going to go get it, high pointing the ball. He's good at it.
And on the other side, Covington Lions, they have an Oklahoma commit.
They do. Edgerrin Cooper, the edge, he is special. In terms of Mandeville's defense, John O'Connor, 150 tackles. That's just an insane amount of tackles. He's all over the field, making tackles everywhere. Chandler Washington for the Lions on the offensive side of the ball. Look, lightning in a bottle, quick as a cat. If he gets a seam, he's gone.
Thanks, Coach. We'll have more analysis from the press box. I spoke with both coaches moments ago. Let's hear what they had to say, and we'll get to the action. Pre-game with Coach Salter. Coach, there's a lot of playoff implications in this one tonight. What are you telling your guys to prepare them for this matchup tonight?
Well, I think, for us, we control our own destiny. And while, we theoretically could be in either way, the only thing that's going to guarantee that is us playing well and being successful tonight. That's the only way we're going to guarantee a spot in the playoffs and a chance to play next week.
And Mandeville has the top quarterback and the top receiver in the metro area. What's it going to take to stop them tonight?
Well, I think, look, those guys have been playing really well, and they're going to make some plays tonight. But our defense has been outstanding all year. I think our guys are going to, they're going to be up to the challenge. They're going to play their butts off, and they know how good of a team they are. So, we need to do the simple things. We need to be able to, be able to tackle well. We need to not give up the yards after the catch or yards after the carry, and we need to be able to get off the field on third downs and make plays on third down, and then be able to put some pressure on the quarterback and hopefully get him uncomfortable. And I think if we can do those things, I think we'll have a good shot at slowing them down.
Pre-game with Coach Gonzalez. Coach, Week 10 of the season, big playoff implications in this one. What are you telling your guys coming into this one tonight?
Same thing we've told them all year. Focus on us. If we go out and do what we're supposed to do, and we feel like we can. We come out of here with a win against a tough team. We set ourselves up nicely for the playoffs and, a share of a district title, and that's what the goal was at the beginning of the year. So we're focusing on us right now.
And Covington has a speedster on offense in Chandler Washington. What's it going to take to slow him down tonight?
Look, like they used to say all the time, you can't really stop him. You can only hope to contain him. If we can limit his production, we'll be in good shape. He's dangerous every time he touches the ball, so it's definitely been a focus.
Covington kicking off to start this Week 10 matchup that showers, booting it deep as Zon Diaz will return this one, catching it at about the 5, taking it to the far sideline, looking to catch the edge, bringing it up and being forced out of bounds after crossing the 30-yard line. Flags come out immediately, and that will give Mandeville some extra yardage after the return from Diaz.
Absolutely. The Skippers are going to start out with great field position on this initial drive. Could be, past to 40, setting up shop, so not bad.
And a correction there on the kickoff, Lennon Mendez, a freshman kicker, kicking off for the Lions. But now we get our first look here at Tot and company as they come out. Tot, of course, the number one passer in the area. Number 2 to Tot is Arch Manning from Newman.
That speaks volumes, does it not?
And Will Shepard, of course, the top wide receiver in the area, as we said in pregame. Mandeville taking their time here as this is discussed. Coach Gonzalez looking for a explanation from the White Hat. But yeah, a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball, and Mandeville getting Zon Diaz back.
That's huge. He's a quality back. He just makes that offense click that much better. Should be an interesting matchup tonight with this high-powered offense. Covington's defense, it's been salty all year. Basically their loss in the last month has been to Slidell, and that actually went to overtime. So their defense has definitely been up to the challenge, of course, led by Edge Cooper, and there's a reason Oklahoma wants it.
Well, and that game was 0-0 until very close to the end.
Yes, it was. I realize the field conditions had a play in that, but both defenses definitely stepped up that night and made life miserable on the offensive side of the ball.
This is going to be, as they mark it off, this is going to be a huge gain on the penalty for the Skippers. And they're going to start this drive with excellent field position at the Covington 40-yard line. So let's see how that defense we were just talking about, let's see they hold here.
Right out of the gate, they are under duress. And if Covington's going to want to stick around, they're going to have to keep these guys on their P's and Q's.
Mandeville starting 5 wide, 1st and 10. Tot calling for it, looking, slings it out, complete. And that is a first down that's complete to Will Shepard and brought down over there by the Lions, but after a first down.
And that's, Hutch Gonzalez, he brings that to the table. He's going to have his guys sling the ball all over the yard, and with that much talent, that's the end result.
Sticking 5 wide, 1st and 10 once again. Here's Tot slinging it out left side. It's complete. Spinning, looking to get inside, and brought down at about the 17-yard line is number 11, Daraji Gaspard.
And it looks like it could be another first down for the Skippers. It's going to be awfully close.
See where they mark it. That'll be 2nd and 1 for the Skippers. Gaspard played he's the backup quarterback for the Skippers this year. Last year, the starting quarterback for the second half of the season. Now this year, he has been stellar as a wide receiver.
He's made that transition seamlessly.
Tot calling for it. 2nd down, passes complete to Daraji Gaspard once again, and that time it's a first down for the Skippers as they continue this drive.
And it's been beautifully orchestrated on the offensive side of the ball. As they say, nickel and diming people, that's exactly what's happened. 5 yards here, 10 yards there.
They're going quads to the left here on first down. Tot looking to pass. That's complete. And he'll be brought down at the 6-yard line for about a 5-yard gain.
And there we go. Speaking of 5-yard gains here, 10-yard gains there. And we've seen a combination of those all through this drive. Mandeville's been just methodical.
2nd down and 6. Tot calling for it. Looked left. Now he'll run it himself. Rolling right. Pass complete for Will Shepard for the Mandeville touchdown.
And that's the one guy, if you're the Lions defense, that you just can't lose track of. He's the guy for all of the right reasons. Like we talked about, high pointing the ball. There he went down and got it. It was at his shoelaces and no problem whatsoever.
So Odin Pierce on to attempt the point after out of the Gaspard hold. And Odin Pierce will get it started. Odin Pierce, a 4-star long snapping prospect.
That's fantastic.
Snap is back. Place kick is up, and it is good. So, with 10 minutes, 10 seconds remaining here in the first quarter, the Mandeville Skippers lead 7-0. Caden Costa on to kick this one away after the Mandeville score. This one booted. It'll take a hop and be, let's see, scooped up. Chandler Washington picking it up, looking to find a seam.
He's got it.
He found it. Hit it hard. Still on his feet, crossing the 40.
He won't be caught.
30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown. Chandler Washington shot out of a cannon.
There it is. Just unbelievable athleticism on display right there. And the irony is, mishandling the ball actually created an issue for Mandeville in terms of their coverage, because it just throws everything out of whack, and when you give him a seam, you're not catching it.
It's elite speed from the senior. And, I was going to say once offense came out on the field, I was going to say I've been looking forward to watching Chandler Washington play. I didn't need to wait for the offense to come out.
No, you did not. That was a heck of a surprise for you to see him put the ball in the end zone.
Snap is back. Placed. Kick is up, and it's off the post. No good. So 9:54 remaining here in the first, and Mandeville leads 7-6. So Mendez to kick this one away for the Lions. The lefty boots it downfield, and Diaz will pick this one up at about the 12-yard line. Rushing forward, swarmed by a host of Lions there, led by Jai Franklin.
And I tell you what, just a smart kick right there, because it does put the receiver, receiving the kick in no man's land. It's like, all right, I have to actually cover this because it is a live ball, but there's nowhere to go with it. It just kind of, dies right there. It was like a beautiful little chip off the green.
So Mandeville not getting the excellent field position they had on their first drive to start this one, starting off at their own 15-yard line, and they're starting off once again in that quads to the right formation here on 1st and 10.
Well, if the Skippers are as efficient as they were the first drive, it won't matter where they start.
Here's Tot slinging it out to the right. Tot continues to be perfect as that is complete for a short gain brought down by Kobe Callahan. Ibieta on the reception.
Well diagnosed right there by the Lions. Pickup of 2, so it's going to set up a 2nd and 8. And that's pretty much the first stop we've seen by the Lions in terms of just a short gain.
That'll make it 2nd and 8. Calling for it is Tot. Slung out. Ibieta hauls it in on the swing, and he'll be brought down after another short gain of maybe a yard.
Kobe Callahan did a great job right there, fending off a block and, just gumming up the works. So, and making the tackle on top of it.
So that'll make it 3rd and 7 for the Skippers. And let's see, it looks like Zon Diaz is going to be in the backfield on this one as they await the call from the sideline. Yeah, Diaz to Tot's right now. Motion from Gaspard. Tot calling for it. Looking downfield, and it's complete to Shepard. Shepard evades 1, and that'll be a big first down for the Skippers, 18-yard gain.
And the typical saying, big players make big plays in big moments. There it is, a 3rd down. They needed touchdown earlier. They needed it. He's their guy, and he's a good one.
Now quads to the right, 1st and 10. Tot alone in the backfield, and looks like he's looking to run. Now trying to run it to the right, rolling, slings it out complete, and that's another first down for the Skippers as that was hauled in by Zon Diaz.
Great awareness by Todd. Just surveyed, never takes his eyes off the field, just keeps looking downfield. Eventually finds Zon Diaz, and it's yet another Skipper first down.
Looking to set up 2 to the right, 2 to the left. As the play comes in, Diaz to the left of Tot. Tot has Ibieta in motion. Trips left, and Tot calling for it. Give goes to Diaz. Diaz rushing it up for about a 3-yard gain on the carry.
If I'm not mistaken, that's the first rush we've seen tonight from the Skippers.
The first run of the game goes for 3 yards. They had a lot of success with the passing game early on.
Well, when you're looking at this, Mandeville may be looking and saying, this may set something up. So
5 wide once again here on 2nd down. Diaz in motion from the top of your screen to the bottom. Tot calling for it. Now surveying the field, and he'll take it himself, tucking and running, and he'll be brought down about a yard shy of the first down. So that'll make it 3rd and 1 for the Skippers, and it looks like they're sending in the heavy package now as you see a host of subs coming in there running onto your screen, along with 94 Seth Paggart, 6'1 junior.
Big 3rd down here for the Lions defense. I tell you what, Edge Cooper, closing speed right there to make sure that didn't go for any more than it could have, because much more would have been a first down.
Heavy package to the left here on 3rd down, rushing it up, and Mandeville has the first down. It appears so, as Diaz took the direct snap and followed behind the big guys.
Good job by Diaz right there, just picking and choosing his spot to pick up just enough to get the first down.
So that'll move the chains. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Skippers from the 44-yard line. Heavy package going out, regular offense coming back in. And it looks like they're going to stick with that quads to the right for the moment. They have Will Shepard at the bottom of your screen. Cott calling for it. Swing pass out there to Ibieta. Ibieta makes a cut, coming up field, still going. Cuts back inside. 10, 5, and he's brought down at the 1-yard line.
And I tell you what, when he hit the hole right there, you weren't catching him.
And heavy package coming in as they're right there nearing the goal line. 5:40 to go here in the first quarter.
Good pursuit by the Lions right there, but man, big chunk of ground, and I mean just an excellent job in terms of the vision to see where you need to make the cut.
It'll be a direct snap to Henderson. Henderson takes it following the blocks, and they got so much push that it was a wide open lane for Jack Henderson to head into the end zone.
And I tell you, he wasn't really even touched until he was 2 yards into the end zone. So great play design right there by the Skippers. And, other scores around the parish are probably still 0-0 as they're getting off the bus. Here, an opportunity to be 14-6. So definitely a barn burner, so to speak, tonight.
Costa on to attempt the extra point. Snap is back, kick is up, and it is good. So with 5:15 to go here in the first quarter, Mandeville leads 14-6. Costa on to kick this one away following the Mandeville touchdown, making it 14-6. Costa. This will be returned by the Lions. Bringing it upfield. Good return there by Quintez Laurent. And he'll get down to the 27-yard line.
And, Mandeville right there able to have some containment on their coverage, stayed in their lanes, made sure that there wasn't a seam, so to speak, to find. But, yeah, Quintez Laurent right there, good job picking out a spot and putting the Lions in good field position to start.
Now let's get our look at the Covington Lion offense.
Finally, right?
Trips to the left to start it. Motion from Rogers. Swing pass out to Rogers. Hauls it in. Has a seam to run, and he'll be brought down after about a 7-yard gain.
Nice play design right there. And Cade Rogers does an excellent job. Their backfield is really talented.
And Cade Rogers on the season had 2 receptions coming into tonight for 16 yards, 29 rushes for 143 yards. Now here on second down, pitch goes to Washington, looking to get outside. No way, as Seth Paggart got that hand on him, grabbed him by the shoulder pad, and didn't let go, bringing him to the ground.
And an excellent job in terms of pursuit. Got that big paw out there and was able to grab a hold and not let go, as you said. It's an excellent tackle.
3rd and 5 for the Lion offense. They have trips to the left once again. Sharp calling for it. Play action, launching this one out, and it's picked off. Hauled in by Jack Henderson. Henderson still on his feet, going the other way, and dropped after crossing the 20-yard line, and Henderson got way up there using full extension and all of that 6'3" frame to haul that one in.
It looks like he's been watching Will Shepard high point balls, because that's exactly what he did on the defensive side. And then a big return, and we just thought Mandeville had good field position on their first drive. This is beyond good. This is excellent. So,
well, look, when you're Jack Henderson, you're going up against Will Shepard every day in practice, so you're getting that vertical jump training every day, because you know Will Shepard's going to go high point it, and you're trying to beat him.
Practice makes perfect, and right there, that was a perfect display of defense by Henderson.
So 1st and 10 for the Mandeville offense. from the 18-yard line. The give goes to Diaz. Diaz looking to cut upfield, and he'll get about a 4-yard gain on the carry before being bottled up by a host of Lions there, led by Bryce Blackwell.
Almost a variation of the Statue of Liberty play right there. Looked like Boise versus Alabama from years ago. So
Blackwell, a freshman linebacker for the Lions.
yeah, he's definitely one of those guys, Bryce Blackwell. Great kid, smart, instinctive. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Here's Todd launching this one for Shepard, and it's overthrown out of reach on the coverage, Jalen Carter.
And put it where he's the only one that could get it. And hey, look, you got to try that one, corner of the end zone. Like we said, he's their guy. Looks like there's a flag on the play.
Yeah, a little bit of discussion.
We'll see what that's about.
They can handle all jobs, big or small, for your repair and replacement needs, as well as annual maintenance for your heating and cooling. Don't get caught in the dark. They'll also provide and install a whole house generator.
A personal foul after the play against the Skippers.
8915.
So that'll back them up
Personal foul call
to the 31-yard line. That'll make it 2nd and long.
And that definitely
3rd and long, excuse me.
That definitely flips the field right here. If you're the Skippers, 3rd and 20. Not many plays in the playbook for that one.
So Mandeville lining up quads right. Tot alone in the backfield, calling for it, looking left, slings it out, and Shepard. That just hit, that they say catch it with your hands. That hit him in the chest and came loose.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
So 4th down. Let's see which unit comes out. Caden Costa in the field goal unit will come on out.
Tell you what, he's gonna have to put a charge in that. So we're looking at an excess of 40 yards. 47.
47 yards. For Costa, junior kicker. He's been starting since he was a freshman for the Skippers.
And he's got the experience, and I'm sure he has the leg.
46-yard attempt. Snap from Pierce's back. Place kick is up. He put a charge into it, and it's no good.
Well, I tell you what.
Had the distance, just not the accuracy.
If it's straight, that's good for Mandeville. he just absolutely blasted that one.
But a great stop for the Lion defense. What's that do for their confidence after Mandeville went out and scored on their first 2 drives?
Absolutely. And, you know, and a big call right there. I'm sure Coach Gonzalez is going to talk to his guys. But, yeah, Coach Glenn Salter, he's got to be very happy with what his troops did on that drive.
So 1st and 10 for the Lions from the 20-yard line. Sharp calling for it. Give goes to Washington, looking to get a hole in Mandeville, flocking to the ball. That'll be a short gain.
On the right side.
John O'Connor in on that tackle. I mean,
we talked about John O'Connor before the game. 152 tackles so far on the season. That's incredible. More than 16 tackles a game.
It truly is amazing, is it not?
So 2nd down for the Lions, calling for it once again. Is Sharp the give. Oh, goes to Washington, and Washington dropped by guess who?
Yeah. Guess who? Shocking, right?
John O'Connor, the 6'1 junior.
His form is flawless, and, I mean, he really doesn't make the tackle. If the opportunity presents itself, he's usually finishing the job.
So that'll bring up 3rd down and 6, excuse me, for the Lions. Sharp calling for it. Here on 3rd down, looking to pass. Slings it out left side. Oh, and that one, Henderson went up to try and make the pick. It went almost like over his hands going into Washington, and Washington couldn't hang on.
Henderson read that the whole way, though. He was peeking in the backfield, spying the quarterback's odds. He just couldn't get to that one. So it's a good throw in all actuality by Sharp. And, you know, when you have a defender right there and it goes through his hands on the way to your hands, it definitely can put you off.
Slayton McDowell in the punting unit on for the Lions here on 4th down, and Mandeville calls a timeout right before the ball was about to be snapped. So 1:53 remaining here in the first quarter, and Mandeville leads 14-6. Snap is back. McDowell punting this one away. Good height on that one, and Ibieta will let it go as it continues to roll, and it'll be down at the 38-yard line by Dianati McDowell.
I tell you what, that's the second time we've seen the ball just put into no man's land, so to speak, and it just, you know, dives right there. There's the perfect little weight to the ball to where it just, you know, lands softly and no return.
So 1st and 10 for the Skipper offense from their own 38. Trips to the top of your screen, and Tot puts Diaz in motion. So now 5 wide. Tot calls for it. Looking to pass as pressure bears down, rolling left, and he'll take it himself, running upfield, and he'll cross the 40, so that'll be a gain of 4 on the carry. But if you notice there, Bryce Blackwell got a hand in there, nearly jawing that one free. Tot had to readjust.
And I tell you what,
keep hold.
Kobe Amos, number 68 for the Lions, senior, 6'1", 300 pounds. When we talk about a bull rush, that was the bull rush because he was in the backfield with quickness. Great job by Tot to elude him.
The 2nd down, quads right for the Skipper offense. Tot calling for it. Screen out to Ibieta. And Ibieta looking to get away, and a good tackle there by number 7, Kobe Callahan, to just grab a hold of Ibieta's leg and pulling it out from under him.
And Edge Cooper was the first Lion there and absolutely stopped progress in its tracks. So a good job by the Lions using a little teamwork right there to make sure that that play didn't advance any further.
So that'll bring up 3rd down for the Skippers. Calling for it, looking to pass left side, slings it out, incomplete. Great job there by Edgerrin Cooper to break up the pass.
And showing off his athleticism. I mean, a beautiful break on the ball, able to get a paw in there and knock it down, and a big stand for the Lions defense.
Now the Mandeville punting unit out, as Chandler Washington is back to return this one.
Washington with his Superman cape on. We've seen what he's capable of earlier on the kickoff return. Let's see what happens here on this punt return.
High snap, handled cleanly, punted away, end over end, as this one's going to roll. And Washington's going to let it go. Mandeville will down it at the 13-yard line. So a great punt there from the Skippers.
Absolutely.
By Caden Costa.
Absolutely. The ball was just spinning forward like a top, and when it hit, he was able to get another 10, 12 yards out of the roll and literally neutralized Washington. He wasn't able to run up and grab, so similar to what we were mentioning earlier, with the Covington punter with the ball just kind of dying, putting it in a spot where it's really difficult if you're the guy that's supposed to be returning it.
So the Lions will have 87 yards to go here on this drive. Blake Sharp in the gun, calling for it. High snap, handles it cleanly, gives it to Cooper. And Cooper, that was Quintez Laurent on the carry. He'll be brought down by a host of Skippers after a 5-yard gain. And that will take us to the end of the first quarter as Mandeville leads 14-6. 2nd down and 5. As Sharp calls for it, fakes the give. Oh, and hauling that one in was Washington. Had to reach behind him. Now looking to reverse field. Mandeville looking to run him down, and he has room. And he'll run safely out of bounds. Let's see where they mark it, but maybe 2 yards shy of the 1st down.
It's going to be awfully close. Looks like they're putting him at about the 20.
No, they say 1st down.
1st down, yeah.
1st down for Washington. A phenomenal job. That was a la Reggie Bush from the early 2000s.
It really was, because the pitch was behind him. For him to reach back, grab the ball, and by that point, it's helter-skelter at that point. So you just have to figure it out on the fly, and man, that's the guy you want doing it if you're the Lions.
Sharp calling for it from the gun. Give once again goes to Washington, and he has room to run, and he is taking off, turning on the afterburners. Henderson running, trying to catch him, but he will not. Washington to the end zone, and absolutely incredible speed, elite speed.
And you know, Henderson, he's got some wheels, and he had the angle, and it still just wasn't happening.
Wow.
There it is. I'm telling you, he gets a seam, he's gone. I mean, I'm sure there's someone that can catch him, but I haven't seen it, and I haven't heard about it. So,
you know, you got to call the matchup here between Slidell and Covington, and afterwards I was watching it on our monitors at Channel 13, and you saw the elite speed from him, but I wanted to see it in person, and here it's even more impressive when you're
really
at Jack Salter watching it.
It really is. Obviously going for 2 right here.
It'll be Sharp in the gun. Laurent behind him. Calling for it. Give goes to Laurent, and he is into the end zone. The 2-point conversion is good. So with 11:32 to go here in the 1st half, the score is tied at 14. Mendez to kick this one away for the Lions. And this will be returned by the Skippers. Catching it at the 15-yard line is Diaz. Diaz looking for a seam, and he'll be spun around and brought down at about the 40-yard line. So the Skippers will set up shop for this drive, their own 40. And their last drive resulted in a punt, but prior to that, they'd been moving the ball. Let's see what changes they've made following actually the last 2 drives.
Yes, the Lions defense has done pretty well these last 2 drives. One was penalty aided. The other one, just good mano-a-mano defense. So it's time to see what happens here. But, yeah, the Skippers have been impressive prior to those 2 drives.
Tot calling for it. Slings this one out to Diaz, and Edgerrin Cooper was right there. And, Edgerrin Cooper readjusted, and you saw him. That was quite a jump there, explosive play to get Diaz from behind.
It looked like Diaz had made a nice move in the hole, and actually I think he did make a really nice move, little cut right there, and somehow Cooper's able to reach out and grab a hold, and then, as you say, close that space down and make the tackle.
Tot calling for it here on 2nd down. Pressure coming. Guy has a hand on him. Tot is sacked for a big loss by number 68, Kobe Amos, 6'1", 300 pounds.
We mentioned earlier the bull rush that he had, at the other end in the 1st quarter. And look, Tot was very lucky to get away then and showed some tremendous vision and athleticism. That time, Kobe Amos said, I've got a big paw right here, and you're not getting away. It's a huge play for the Lions defense.
The only positive about that entire situation for Tot was that Amos didn't fall directly on top of him.
Absolutely.
3rd down for the Skippers. Calling for it is Tot, looking to pass, pressure coming, the screen, and snuffed out by Edgerrin Cooper, and that is the instincts and the explosive play that all of the colleges love.
Absolutely. There's a reason that Oklahoma absolutely fell in love with this guy. And look, who knows who's else, involved in terms of looking at him and, trying to lure him to their programs, because he is special.
So once again, the Lion defense holds this explosive Skipper offense And the punting unit, led by Caden Costa, comes out to punt it away, and Chandler Washington is back there to return. Snap from Pierce is back. Costa.
This one might be returned. Nope. Does just exactly what it did last time. Just a beautiful spot. Puts the ball in no man's land and says, you know what, we're taking it out of the hands of the playmakers.
The long snapper, Odin Pierce, downed it at the 31-yard line.
Wow. Talk about tenacity in terms of finishing off a play. Snaps the ball and then downs the ball. That's pretty impressive.
A 4-star long snapping recruit.
And, you know, long snappers really and truly see the world differently. I mean, everything's
upside down.
So, I mean, but, man, that's awesome that young man was able to start and finish that play.
So now the Covington offense comes out 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line. Sharp in the gun as he's trying to get everybody set up right. There's only 9 seconds left on the play clock. Sharp calling for it. Give goes to the right from Quintez Laurent.
Yeah, and Laurent, you know, looking for a little bit of a seam right there. Mandeville doing a good job of closing, you know, that hole, making sure that they were gap-minded right there.
Coming into this one, Laurent had 100 carries for 542 yards, 5 touchdowns, 5.4 yards per carry for Laurent. So 8:48 to go here in the first half. Score tied 14-14, and it's second down for the Lions. Sharp calls for it, and wow, Chandler Washington breaking through for a first down for the Lions. And that is great push up front from that offensive line for the Lions. Remy Burke, Trace Bland, Zach Bushnell, Peyton Mayo, Matthew Taylor. And then once they open it up, Chandler Washington hits it hard.
Absolutely, and you know, Washington hit the brakes. Kind of shows John O'Connor's motor right there, because he didn't give up on the play. And when Washington hit the brakes to make a little cut to look outside, O'Connor was there to actually make the tackle.
1st and 10, Sharp calling for it. Give goes to Laurent, and Laurent will get a 2-yard gain on the carry. Let's make that 1, so that'll be 2nd and 9 for the Lions. 7:53 to go here in the first half as the Lions await the play from the sideline.
And the very talented backfield for the Covington Lions. You know, we talked earlier about Cade Rogers. He missed the first half of the season. So he's just coming back and getting into form. So you put all those guys together, and it's an impressive group.
There's Rogers in motion. Give goes to Laurent, coming left side, looking to cut up, and that'll be about a 5-yard gain.
And Washington on the block right there, and he kind of gets rolled up, you know, as he was holding his block, and he's kind of feeling that one.
The down box says, yeah, there we go. They adjust it back to 3rd down. You know, we saw one game earlier in the season where a team got 5 downs. So, you know, I wasn't sure. Maybe we were about to see a team get 3.
The old Missouri 5 downs.
Calling for it is Sharp. Give goes to Washington, right side, hitting it hard, crossing the 40, and he'll be brought down after gaining the first down by Gabe Hughes, the 6'2 junior for the Skippers, but another big first down from the Lions.
Hughes took a great angle right there. He might be the first person this year to actually be able to grab Washington before he can kick it in high gear and get around the edge.
1st and 10 for the Lions.
It's 1st and 10.
Yeah, I mean, the next thing that was going to come out of my mouth was Washington turns on the afterburners. But Gabe Hughes, stellar job to bring him down.
Absolutely.
Sharp calling for it. Here's Laurent breaking 1 tackle, and a gang of Skippers bring him down after a gain of 5.
Right there at his season average, as you mentioned. And he's kind of one of those backs that, you know, he hits a 2-yarder here, a 3-yarder there, and then he's good for 8, you know, or 9. So just a consistent, hardworking running back.
Well, that'll make it 2nd and 5 for the Lions, eating up time, calling in the play from the sideline. calling for it. Give goes to Rogers, cutting it back. And he'll be very close to the first down. Let's see if it's awarded. No, they're saying third and inches for the Lions after the Rogers gain.
So is this the book?
No, now they say first down.
Okay.
So first down for the Lions. Great run there by Rogers.
Absolutely. Good cut in the hole, and he's got excellent vision. He sees the field very well, and he's able to plant and find a little space and pick up the first down. So between Laurent and Rogers, Lions are able to pull 10 yards right there and give Washington a little bit of a breather.
Sharp calling for it. Give goes to Laurent. And a very patient runner as Laurent is brought down after a 5-yard gain. Laurent waiting for that seam to open, just hanging out behind the offensive line. And then when he sees a hole open, he hits it hard.
Yes, he did. And again, the vision was excellent and very patient, just literally following his blocks, seeing where that, road grader offensive line is going to, allow for those seams to develop.
So second down and 6.
Washington back in.
Sharp calling for it. Give goes to Washington, and he's met in the backfield and brought down by Dalen Levi, the 6'2 junior for the Skippers.
Great job by Levi, just shooting a gap, making sure to find Washington in the backfield before he could get any momentum. It's an excellent job by that young man.
The loss makes it 3rd and 8 for the Lion offense. 3:59 to go here in the first half.
They have Washington in the seam.
And Covington will take a timeout. So 3:51 to go here in the first half, and the score is tied at 14. So third down for the Lions coming out of the timeout. Sharp in the gun, calling for it, looking to pass, slings it out to Washington. Bring it upfield, ball pops loose and goes out of bounds at the 4-yard line.
Well, that's going to be weird because it's going to probably give the Lions a first down if they mark it where it went out. If they mark it where the fumble went out of bounds.
They mark it at the 5-yard line, which is a first down for the Lions, and now the heavy package comes in.
That's what you call a little fortuitous bounce right there for the Lions.
And let's see. It looks like they're going to go with the old Maryland eye.
They've run that before, as you well know, so I think they have some faith in their O-line.
Sharp calling for it. Give goes to Laurent, and he is brought down by the Skippers after for no gain. Down by a host of Skippers. It was like a scrum diving on him.
Yes, it was. And I tell you what, Quentin Rodney, number 24 for the Skippers, was the one who shot through the gap right there and really messed that play up if you're the Lions.
So ball still at the 5, no gain on the play. Still in the Maryland I formation on second down. Sharp calling for it. Give goes to Laurent again, looking to dive over, and he'll be brought down at about the 3-yard line, jumping ahead for about a 2-yard gain.
And you can emphasize jumping ahead. So he played leapfrog right there and was able to get over the first defender. But big play right here. Mandeville's defense is really standing strong at this point with 2 minutes and 41 seconds to go and counting. So, of course, the Lions are looking to hit pay dirt right here.
Sharp under center on third down, calling for it. Give goes to Edgerrin. Cooper bullying his way into the end zone.
And he does more than make tackles. I just showed off his athleticism right there. He's not a small young man, and he's athletic. Why not?
Yeah, on the season, prior to tonight, Cooper had 25 carries, 138 yards, and 3 touchdowns, so now make that 4.
So he's definitely their red zone Taysom Hill, if you will.
Roger Ponce on to kick the extra point for the Lions, out of the hold of Blake Sharp. Snap is back, place, kick is up, and it is good. So with 2:23 remaining here in the first half, Covington takes the lead, 21-14. Roger Ponce kicking this one away for Covington. This one, still on the ground. Mandeville falls on top of it at the 40-yard line, and I'm not quite sure whether or not that was intentional or if he just got too far under it when he was kicking it and it went up there.
I tell you whatever it was, it almost worked. The downside, obviously, you really don't want to give Mandeville a short field to work with if you're the Lions, and that's the end result of that. Gutsy call on the part of Coach Salter, if that's the case, and it almost worked. I mean, that's one of those that definitely caught the Skippers at unawares.
1st and 10 from the 40-yard line. Motion from Gaspard. So it'll be 2 to the right, 2 to the left for the Skippers. Tot calling for it. Handoff going up the middle. Hard running there from Diaz for a 3-yard gain and brought down by Trent Rainey.
Yeah, good job by Rainey right there. Wrapping up and limiting the yardage gained, but good hard running, as you said, by Diaz.
1:58 on the clock as the play is called in from the sideline for the Skippers. It'll be trips to the right or to the bottom of your screen as Tot calls for it, looking downfield, slings it out, complete to Ibieta. Ibieta with the big gain for the first down, gets down to the 36-yard line. And another first down for the Skippers. They have 1:38 on the clock here before half.
Yeah, and that's an eternity if you're the Skippers because, as we mentioned earlier, Tott's been fantastic. I mean, he has simply been superb, and this drive is tailor-made for his abilities.
Motion from Gaspard once again here on 1st and 10 for the Skippers. Tot calling for it. Looking downfield, slings it out over the middle, looking for Shepard, and it was tipped and falls incomplete.
Yeah, someone was able to get a hand on it. If not, I mean, the pass was on the money, so it was actually well defended to actually get a fingertip on it, because if not, that may have been 6.
2nd and 10 for the Skippers following the incompletion.
No surprise. Guess who tipped the ball? Edgerrin
Cooper.
Go figure.
The Oklahoma commit, as of now, also has offers from LSU and Miami.
Unbelievable.
Trips to the bottom of your screen. Tot calling for it on 2nd and 10. Slings it out left side, intended for Shepard. Shepard wants a flag. But no flag there. Chandler Washington on the coverage.
Yep.
So he's playing Ironman football tonight.
Absolutely, he is.
That makes it 3rd and 10 for the Skippers. 1:08 to go here before half.
It's 3rd and 10.
And we're definitely, I would imagine, in 2-down territory, looking at the time frame, looking at the field position. Mandeville, if they can get close enough but not get the first down, they may consider a field goal. But
5 wide as Diaz comes in motion from the top of your screen to the bottom. Now quads right. Tot calling for it. Slings it to Shepard. In and out of his hands, falling incomplete.
And Todd did a good job right there. He had some pressure in his face. He was able to get it away a little sooner than anticipated, which is probably, why Shepard wasn't able to haul that in. But it does set up 4th down, and as we mentioned earlier, it was 2-down territory, and that's where we're at.
Yeah, offensive unit staying out on the field. Let's see if they stick with 5 wide. 1:04 on the clock here before half.
With the ball placed at the Covington 36. 4th down.
Gaspard in motion. Todd calling for it. Surveying the field, slings it
Pressure.
out left side, incomplete. Looked like a miscommunication there.
And a good job right there by the Lions defense. After being gouged early by a just methodical Mandeville offense, the Lions defense has stepped up on the last 4 drives.
So 58 seconds to go before half.
And as we know, it only takes about 7 or 8 if Washington finds a seam.
You are correct there. But yeah, great play from the Covington defense on the last couple drives. I mean, absolutely just bend, don't break.
Yes, and Todd getting a little pressure right there. Looked like a couple of blitzes there in the last couple of plays. Forcing the throw a little early, but
and
no harm, no foul if nothing happens here.
Washington slung down by John O'Connor. They did the little toss up to him on the jet sweep.
And a tackling machine does what he does. Tackle after tackle after tackle.
So clock running, 37 seconds to go. A gain of 1 from Washington makes it 2nd and 9. And Covington taking their time here. Interesting to see what they decide to do with 20 seconds on the clock. 8 on the play clock. Sharp calls for it. Give goes to Washington. Hitting it hard, and he'll be wrestled down after crossing the 40-yard line by John O'Connor. And
looks like that's going to be halftime.
Yeah, that'll bring us to the half as the horn sounds. It is Covington 21, Mandeville 14.
Getting help at least is like going to the elevator.
Ladies and gentlemen, the pride and the roar of the North Shore, the Covington High School Marching Lion Band. The Marching Lions now present the Guardians of the Galaxy.
So Caden Costa to kick this one away and get the second half underway. Back deep to return, Washington and Laurent. And it looks like Laurent will return this one, hauling it in. Looking for a seam, takes a hit, still going, and he'll be driven back. Never lost his footing, never went down. Whistles blowing, though, as forward progress was stopped as a host of Mandeville skippers pushed him back. Coach Inman, we're going to see the Covington offense come out, and Covington leads the skippers 21-14 here to start the second half.
Yeah, and again, it's been a steady dose of Chandler Washington. However, you've had Laurent. He's had his moments. Cade Rogers has had his moments. So it's been by committee, but let's be honest. When Washington finds a seam,
it's tremendous.
It's not a committee. It's a one-man show.
Sharp giving it to Washington. There you see him getting through the line, and that's a 6-yard gain for Washington as he hit the hole hard, looked to make a play to the left, brought down by the skippers.
Yeah, John O'Connor in on yet another tackle.
Incredible.
I mean, he is a tackling machine.
Yeah, coming into this one, averaging over 16 tackles per game.
That's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. And, if he's not there, Washington makes a cut, and he's off to the races.
So that'll make it 2nd and 4 for the Covington offense. Calling for it is Sharp. Give once again goes to Washington. And that'll be very close to a first down, and I believe it will be a first down.
And just a nice little dance, sidestep, bam, 4 yards, first down, and patient running right there. I mean, we've seen him hit the hole, and right there he was really patient. A couple of little quick steps, and found just enough to find the first.
Yeah, shout out once again to that offensive line, too. He waits patiently behind them for them to open the hole and then hits it.
They've done a good job tonight.
Sharp calling for it. This time the give goes to Laurent, right side, and he'll gain about 3 before being brought down over there by the skippers. Looked like Ethan Yadanza along with Odin Pierce on the stop.
And good hard running right there by Laurent. Between he and Rogers, it's enough to spell Washington and keep him fresh. As you mentioned earlier, he does play some Ironman football, so any chance he gets to spell his legs, that only makes him that much more productive when he does get the ball.
So 2nd down for the Lions. Sharp calls for it. Give going to Washington. This time bouncing it outside to the right, looking to make a spin move back, but he'll be driven out by Odin Pierce, who wrapped him up. And that will be, let's see, a 3rd down and 1 for the Lions. Let's see where they spot it. Yet maybe 3rd and inches. They might want to bring this out to measure it.
I was going to say, you got a line. One of the officials on this side is pointing, saying, bring it up. It's a first. So let's see what happens.
Yep, first down. Moving the chains. And Sharp calling for it. Give goes to Washington. And Washington bottled up for a 1-yard loss. And did it come out?
They're saying it came out. And Washington is on the ground.
Let's see what the official call is.
A Gray Nissan in the handicap area on the visitor side.
It looks like they're going to have a conference here as they talk it over. It's an official timeout as Chandler Washington went down. And so he's going to have to be out for 1 play. But we're awaiting the call to see the official decision on if the ball popped out and Mandeville recovered.
Lions are keeping their offense on the field, so they seem to think that he was down before the ball came out. Let's see what the officials say. And they're saying 2nd down. They're agreeing with the Lions offense right there.
And Mandeville faithful not liking that call, but after the conference, it'll still be Lion football, 2nd and 10. And Washington has to come out for a play. He ran off under his own power. He's actually on the sideline ready to come back in. I'm sure after this second down play, he'll run right back out onto the field.
He's going to have to catch a breather on this play, and he probably needs one.
Sharp calls for it. Give goes to Rogers. Rogers will be brought down after a 3-yard gain.
And again, a good move right there in the hole. Mandeville did a great job of actually, creating a little chaos right there behind the line of scrimmage. He's able to sidestep that and pick up 3 yards when there really wasn't any to be had.
So 3rd and 7 for the Lions. And there you see on the left side of your screen is Chandler Washington back in the game.
Big play right here for the Mandeville Skippers defense.
And let's see if they look to put it in his hands here on 3rd down. Sharp calls for it. Give goes to Washington. Running up the middle, spinning away. Still on his feet, and he'll be dropped by Jack Henderson. And that'll bring up 4th down for the Covington offense.
And the big play right there. How can I say this? A very exciting 4 yards in a cloud of dust, but it is going to bring a 4th and 2, and the Lions are going to keep their offense on the field.
What a great play by Jack Henderson, catching Washington and making that stop.
Making sure that he wasn't going to spin out of his tackle. And you really think about it, he kind of had to do that because Washington spun out of 2 tackles before he ever got to him. So
let's see, as Maryland I with Cooper as the tailback, and there seemed to be some confusion there on the Covington side, so Coach Salter had to take a timeout. It'll be 4th down when we come back with 7:39 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Covington leads 21-14. Coming out of the timeout, the punt unit on for the Lions. Slayton McDowell on to punt. Kicks this one away. Takes a skipper bounce. And it'll be downed at the 24-yard line, where the Skippers will set up shop for their first drive here, the second half.
Yeah. The Lions were able to eat a little bit of time off the clock right there with that drive. Skippers' defense stepped up, made sure that it stalled, and now their offense is back out looking to even up the ledger here, 21-14.
Yeah, had a lot of success early on in this one, and then Covington's defense came back and held.
Well, halftime's about adjustment, so we'll see which coaches have made it here.
Tot calls for it. Give goes to Diaz up the middle, and Diaz will gain 5 on the carry. Following good push there from the offensive line.
Good job by the Skippers O-line. Diaz patiently looking, making sure that he can find a little bit of a crease, and picked up 5 yards out of that, or close to it.
So 2nd and 5 for the Skippers. 7:04 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. They're going to go trips to the bottom of the screen. Calling for it is Tot, keeping it on the ground. Once again, Diaz finds a hole. That'll be a 1st down as he gains 8 on the carry.
Well, I tell you what, Coach Gonzalez and his staff have to be really excited to have him back in the fold, in particular playoff time. I mean, having a healthy Zon Diaz is going to be really beneficial for the Skippers, next Friday night.
So Mandeville awaiting the play from the sideline. And they're going to go trips to the bottom of your screen once again. That's Will Shepard at the top. Calling for it. Give goes to Diaz. Diaz will be stopped for no gain.
A host of Lions right there. Guess who's at the bottom of the pile? Big number 68, Kobe Amos. And that explains why that play wasn't going anywhere. You run into Kobe Amos, you ran into a wall.
Yeah, Kobe Amos blowing it up. Then Trent Rainey, one of those finishing it off.
Cedric Laird in on tackle as well.
Quads left. We've seen this a couple times tonight. Mandeville getting a play from the sideline after reviewing the defense that Covington's giving them. Quickly, they get set, and they'll throw a screen out to Landon Ibieta, and that's incomplete. They're the forward pass in and out of the hands of Ibieta and make it 3rd down for the Skippers.
And Covington was applying pressure there. There was a blitz package on. Todd did a very good job of recognizing that, looked to swing it out, and that's one of those where I think I'll be able to look to run before he pulled the ball in, and he probably makes that play 9 times out of 10. That was just the 1 out of 10 that it wasn't happening.
So 3rd and 11. So they go trips to the top of your screen, motion across from Gaspard. Tot, pressure coming, and he is dropped, sacked by number 7, Kobe Callahan.
Yes, Kobe Callahan, great jump right there. Was just able to find that extra gear going around the edge. And, just like the play before, Covington dialing up some pressure. This time it was able to find home.
That Covington defense coming up big once again, and Caden Costa and the punt unit for the Skippers are back on the field with the explosive Chandler Washington back to return for the Lions.
And Washington has kind of cheated up a little bit. He wants a bite at this return, but not happening.
If Peter call on as this one rolls and will be downed at the 40-yard line by number 38, Justin Miller, senior defensive back for Coach Gonzalez. So now Covington's offense coming back out onto the field, looking to extend their lead with just under 5 minutes remaining here in the 3rd quarter.
And I tell you, not to be lost in terms of what Coach Glenn Salter has been able to do with his defensive troops and their alignment. They've been able to flip the field a little bit. I mean, Mandeville in the first 4 drives had fantastic field position. And now you're looking, the Lions are starting out, on their 40. So that's a pretty good spot to start if you're the Covington Lions.
Sharp calls for it. Give goes to Washington. Washington has a hole, and he'll get about a 5-yard gain, and that was potentially a touchdown-saving tackle there by Ethan Yadanza.
It very well may have been. And I tell you what, that's the fastest 5 yards you'll see. I mean, that play start to finish is 2 seconds long. But 5 yards later, it's 2nd and 5.
We've talked about some running backs this season here in St. Tammany Parish who are 1 or 2 steps, 3 steps to full speed. Chandler Washington is 1 step.
Yeah, he's next level in terms of top gear. And we have some special backs around the parish. We really do.
So 2nd down, Sharp calls for it. Give goes to Washington. Washington hits a hole, and he'll be brought down after crossing the 50-yard line by Mason Muley.
Great job right there by the Lions O-line and Cade Rogers. Cade Rogers with a seal block right there in the end that created a small seam. And again, we've talked about it before. It doesn't take much for Washington to find some space and just kick it into that high gear immediately.
I'm talking about Cade Rogers. His freshman year, he was getting some varsity playing time. He got to learn under Devin Brumfield, who's now at Utah. A tremendous player here at Covington, and somebody that if you want that's your role model, you're set for success.
Absolutely.
Moving forward.
Laurent with a little bit of a run right there. And again, he spells Washington, as does Rogers. Picks up 2 or 3 hard yards here or there, and then he'll break one for about 6 or 7. Just a good, consistent back.
And that'll bring up 2nd down for the Lions as Sharp awaits the play. But, Devin Brumfield so far this season, he's gotten a good bit of touches for the Utes.
Yes, he has. And, it's not just the Utes. It's the top 10 ranked Utes. So he's at a quality program, and, they could be in the mix here towards the end of the year.
Sharp in the gun here on 2nd down, calling for it. Give goes to Washington. Washington dancing around, and a host of Skippers. That was great job flocking to the ball there, led off by Miller McSwain, the 6'3 senior.
McSwain hit him in the hole and absolutely stopped his momentum on the spot. So good job right there by McSwain.
3rd down for Covington, 2:29 to go here in the 3rd quarter.
And Covington's been able to eat some time off the clock, but Mandeville's defense has stepped up. They did a great job on the the first drive by the Lions. The Lions were able to drive, eat some clock, but the drive stalled. So Mandeville's defense is getting the ball back to their offense, and this is a big third down where they attempt to do that again.
The give once again goes to Washington. Washington has room, gets through, and that is a first down for the Lions. A big gain there on the third down play, and once again, just that patient running, and then when he sees the opening, it's like he's shot out of a cannon.
And the O-line doing a good job right there, drive blocking, creating that seam. He's patient, waits for the seam, is able to hit it, pick up the first down, and it's a big first down because, again, Mandeville's defense, they've been in bend but don't break mode, and it's been working getting the ball back to their offense, but in that manner right there, big players, big-time players, they step up in big-time moments, big third down, and Washington's able to make the first.
And here on 1st and 10, Maryland I from Covington, give going to Cooper. Excuse me, Quintez Laurent. And Laurent brought down after a short gain of 1 on the carry.
And this may be just to spell Washington for a play or two. Playing the odds, playing the field position. You've got quality back. You can bring in Edgerrin Cooper. So, Coach Greg Salter and the Lions obviously have a wealth of talent to choose from.
Laurent coming back in. It's originally Edgerrin Cooper, the tailback in the Maryland I, as clock continues to run. Under a minute to go here in the third quarter. 7 seconds on the play clock for the Lions. Sharp under center, calling for it. Give goes to Laurent, coming right side, and he's still on his feet, but pushed out of bounds after another short gain, by Reese Calora.
Guess who else was there?
O'Connor.
Yeah, you know it.
A tremendous player all over the field.
Absolutely.
For the Skippers.
We have him, being the bellwether for the Skippers, and then on the other side, Edgerrin Cooper has just he's been amazing. I tell you that deflection that he had earlier in the second quarter when the Skippers were driving, it may have been a game-saving or certainly a drive-saving deflection.
Third down, Sharp under center. Give goes straight ahead to Laurent, and he is dropped by Calora.
Yep, Calora was there, as was Odin Pierce. So good job right there by the Skippers. And it's going to set up a 4th and long. And this is kind of a weird spot. Lions, can punt and pin the Skippers deep potentially, but they look like they're pretty confident in their salty defense, and they may keep the offense out and go for it.
And there's 12 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. And they're going to let this one, the clock run out, take us to the fourth quarter as Covington leads Mandeville 21-14. Continued in the Maryland I is Covington here on 4th down, looking to pass. Is Sharp launching this one for Washington. And, that's going to be a flag. Flag comes out for pass interference.
Washington with an excellent job trying to get back to the ball. Henderson really didn't see the ball, so it's just kind of unfortunate that, he ran into Washington, but Washington, great job of actually picking that up, trying to get back and forcing the contact.
So that'll be 15 yards up, another first down for Covington, giving them the fresh set of downs. And potentially, though, he saved the touchdown.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
It's, you get the penalty, but you live to play another down.
And again, it was the irony is it was, fairly innocuous. It was pretty inadvertent. It wasn't intentional per se, but sometimes you get the dumb luck, the rub of the green, so to speak. And as you say, even if it's inadvertent, he may have saved the touchdown right there.
So on 1st and 10, Maryland I still in for the Lions. Sharp will give to Quintez Laurent, and he'll be hit by Calora, and that cleaned up there by Yadanza.
Good job by Mandeville's defense right there. They're stacking the box, playing the run all the way, and basically it's a run blitz. And Laurent was the unfortunate beneficiary, if you will, of a free massage. Mandeville was delivering.
So 2nd and 10 for the Lions as they await the play from the sideline being signaled in. And they're going to move out of the Maryland eye. It'll be Sharp in the gun, Laurent behind him. And let's see, some confusion from the Covington offense. So the Lions take a timeout. 11:04 remaining here in the 4th quarter. Covington up 21-14. Sharp in the gun, coming out of the timeout on 2nd down. Give going to Quintez Laurent left side, and he'll gain 2 on the carry. And that'll make it 3rd and 8.
Yeah, McSwain right there in on that tackle, and a good job of wrapping up, making sure the tackle was finished all the way, through to the end, and brings up a big 3rd down for the Lions.
Getting set with 2 to the right. Sharp calling for it, looking to pass. Slings it out there to Washington. He caught it and then lost his footing. So that'll be a loss of 6.
Yeah, and that ball kind of drifted a little bit. It kind of floated out there, and it really put Washington under duress. Mandeville, a great job of diagnosing that play. And it is going to bring up a 4th and roughly, 14?
Let's see. It looks like they're putting the heavy package out there. And Bobby Padilla on. So, they're attempting a field goal. 39-yard field goal.
Time's almost out. 2-1. They get the snap off. It's up, and it's going to be short.
So no good. Mandeville's defense holds. That was Padilla, the junior kicker, attempting.
That was really, really rushed. I mean, by the time he got out there was only about 8 or 9 seconds left on the play clock, but literally he kicked the ball, with, no time left on the clock. So it was a kind of rushed kick. But bend but don't break. Skipper's defense steps up, does its job. So now it's time for the Skipper's offense to come out and see what they can do against what's been a very stout Lions defense.
1st and 10, Mandeville. 2 wings in there providing extra protection. Lead blocks, and their give goes to Diaz, breaking the 1st tackle, running through the 2nd. And he'll be brought down by Kobe Callahan after a big gain that moves the chains.
And again, what a blessing to the Skippers to have Diaz back. I'm sure Coach Gonzalez is, thinking ahead as to how he can utilize him going forward.
On 1st down, once again, give goes to Diaz, going left side, and he'll be dropped for a loss. They're led by the guy in the middle of your screen there, Edgerrin Cooper.
Yeah, guess who? The other tackling machine, the one that's committed to Oklahoma and is being lured by LSU. And that would be the 2nd-ranked Tigers going into their clash tomorrow.
Yeah, the game of the century 2.0.
That's right.
But LSU, also Miami, offering
That's true.
Cooper
That's
late.
true.
So on 2nd down, give goes left side, and a big run there, a hard running by Jack Henderson.
I'll tell you what, Henderson has really impressed me with his athleticism tonight, whether it's high pointing the ball, whether it's the pick and the big return, or a good carry right there.
So that'll make it 3rd and 5 for the Skippers, looking to continue this drive. Heavy package still in. When I was playing, we called it Ram. And they're shifting to the right. Give going once again, and that'll be a modest gain. And we'll bring up 4th down for the Skippers.
Kobe Callahan, shooting off the edge right there, knifing in, making sure that he's got the tackle, wraps up well. And it does bring up a 4th down, and the Skippers are looking at this saying, you know what, maybe we can draw them off. Or you never know with Coach Gonzalez. He's got a gambler streak in him, so to speak, and he's willing to, take the chance sometimes.
On fourth down, Tot in the gun, calling for it, looking to pass, slinging it left side. Let's see.
Wow,
It's complete.
what a great grab.
Out there to Will Shepard, the sure-handed Shepard, hauling that one in over there on that far sideline and giving the Skippers a fresh set of downs.
And that's the third time we've called his name, as we mentioned earlier. Big plays, stepping up in big moments.
Heavy package staying in.
On the receiving end.
Tot calling for it, give, going to Henderson, and Henderson will be tripped up.
Yeah, guess who?
By Mr. Cooper. A gain of 1 makes it 2nd and 9 for the Skippers, but tremendous as Edgerrin coming up and just catching Henderson in the leg, tripping him up.
Good job right there by the Lions defense. The Skippers, I tell you what, they've got a nice little drive going, and looking at the time frame and how the Lions have been able to eat up the clock, they're going to have to find something here.
Oh, Tot's arm batted.
And that's a pick.
And that is an interception. Huge play by the Lions. And
Yes.
Edgerrin Cooper
Guess who?
fired up, coming over to the sideline after the big turnover from the Lions there as Tot's arm was hit going forward. That ball came loose and was picked off.
And I tell you what, Coach Glenn Salter has been dialing up the pressure at just the right times for the Lions. And, you know, if it hasn't been able to find home with the pressure, then it's been able to create some issues for Tot in terms of not having enough time to survey. So it's really kind of gummed up the offense. And right there, it not only found home, it created a turnover, and a big turnover.
Now here's Sharp in the gun on 1st and 10. There's 6:20 to go here in the 4th quarter. So you can bet Covington is going to be wanting to run the clock as that give goes to Chandler Washington for a gain of 3. And makes it 2nd and 7. Excuse me, 2nd and 8 for the Lions, awaiting a play from the sideline.
And that's been the Lions' MO tonight. 2 yards here, 3 yards there, and then 8 to 10 yards, pick up the first, especially the second half. Just, you know, sustain a drive for a little while before Mandeville's defense is able to go into bend but don't break mode and actually, you know, stall the drive.
They're taking their time, letting that play clock run as it gets down to 5 seconds before Sharp calls for it, gives it to Chandler Washington. Washington has a seam looking to bounce it outside, and that'll be another first down for the Lions, brought down over there by Noah Angolia, but moving the chains is the Lions.
And that's the name of the game. If you're Covington, you just want to move the chains. If you can find pay dirt and pick up another score, that's fantastic. But in the very least, you're keeping the ball out of the, you know, very explosive, potentially Mandeville Skipper offense.
Awaiting the call from the sideline now. Sharp and company getting set. It's Quintez Laurent and Chandler Washington in the backfield. Calling for it, give, goes to Laurent. Pressure there, spins away from it now, brought down, but man, he really made something out of nothing there, as that was, it looked to be stuffed from the start, able to get away from the would-be tackler and gaining a yard.
Yeah, I mean, and he wasn't hit just once in the backfield, he was hit twice. So what should have been a 3 or 4 yard loss ends up being a 1, almost 2 yard gain.
2nd and 8 for the Lions. 16 seconds to go on the play clock. Give goes to Washington, looking to break it outside, looking to make a move, cutting back, and that will be, let's see,
close.
Yeah,
Looks
maybe
like
a yard shy.
down.
Let's see what the, no, first down for Washington once again.
Just so quick. I mean, he's just fleet of foot. It's like the wings of Mercury. He's just out there and super fast.
So we noticed the weather getting colder. We're edging toward basketball season. Basketball season is upon us. Covington is having an outside jamboree this year on November 16th at the Peter Atkins Park starting at noon. There's no admissions fee. Spectators are encouraged to bring canned food items to benefit North Shore Food Bank. Coach Hunter Reed doing great things here at Covington. And there, Quintez Laurent doing great things on the ground for the Covington Lions.
I'll tell you what, Coach Reed's been a pleasure to work with here at the school, and he's great for the community. And this is just one more example of his influence in a positive way.
Yeah, he's been a very positive influence.
Absolutely.
On Covington High School and the Covington High School basketball program.
Very much so.
So second down for the Lions. And they are, you see, eating up the clock. 3:04 to go here in the fourth quarter. 10 seconds now on the play clock. Give goes to Laurent, running ahead and still going. Hard running there from Laurent, being brought down by Odin Pierce. But that'll be a first down for the Lions once again.
And again, just milking the clock. Chains will set, and the clock will continue to run. And that's Laurent's MO, as I mentioned. 2 yards here, 3 yards there, and then bam, 8 yards. And it's always due to just good, hard running. He's patient, finds the hole, and then he's really difficult to bring down.
Coming in, Gage Bork, coming in as a fullback. There you'll see him. He's on the wing over there on the right side for Covington. Here's Sharp in the gun. Calling for it. Give goes to Washington. Has room to run. Hitting it hard. Still on his feet. And Noah Ngolia brings him down about 2 yards shy of the first down.
He'll be at the 4-yard line, it looks like. And
a player down, so we'll step away for the injury timeout. Maryland I from the Lions. Chandler Washington was able to walk off under his own power. That's good news for the Lions. But Sharp under center in Maryland I. Give goes to Quintez Laurent, powering forward, and he'll gain about a yard after stretching out. And that'll make it, stoppages. Mandeville takes a timeout. So a minute 34 to go here in the fourth quarter. Covington up 21-14, and the Skippers take a timeout. Coming out of the Mandeville timeout, Maryland I from Covington here on third down. Laurent, the tailback. Sharp calling for it. Give goes to Cooper, barreling forward. And Cooper will be brought down at what looks like the 2-yard line. And that'll bring up fourth down. And let's see if Mandeville is going to take another timeout, or is this official? Mandeville takes another timeout. A minute 25 to go here in the fourth quarter. Covington leading 21-14. So Maryland I here on fourth down. The tailback is Edgerrin Cooper. And a flag comes out for offsides on Mandeville. So does half the distance to the goal give them enough for the first down?
That's going to be close. It may actually end up in a measurement.
And they're saying, yeah, the clock's still running. Is there, I guess there may be a malfunction on the clock. Nope, now it's stopped. But that's going to be a
It's a
first and
down.
goal for the Lions.
Wow.
They're going to have to reset the clock to about 58 seconds.
That was definitely a huge
That's a first down. That's called a Lions.
call right there with 2 timeouts left. There still may be a few seconds, but
Well, it looks like they're going to be in victory formation.
that's what I say. I mean, they're going to call a timeout, but will it matter?
So it reset to a minute 15.
And victory
And-
formation it is.
Yeah, Sharp lining up under center. He'll take the knee. And the clock is running. So this is big. We talked about the playoff implications in this game tonight. Mandeville was playing for that to get a first-round home game. Now it's looking like they're going to travel in the first round. Covington was the 30. So even though there was that potential for them to still make it, they're going to get a better seeding now up from 30 because of this victory.
Absolutely. And look, both of these teams could really be a tough out for whoever is unlucky enough to draw them.
Absolutely.
With Mandeville's offensive firepower and Covington's salty defense, and of course, Mr. Washington, unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, great game here tonight at Jack Salter Stadium. So let's go ahead and send our thank yous to those who helped bring you this game, starting with our superintendent, Mr. Trey Foles, director of broadcasting, Dr. Melody Menard, sideline cameraman, Rhett Sharp, cameraman, editor, and coordinator of Channel 13, Dave the Ray Williams, color analyst, Coach Jimmy Inman. So as the buzzer sounds to end this one, Covington wins it 21-14. My name is Grant Yenny. Good night. You are now leaving the Prep Zone. We'll see you in the playoffs.